All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is a webcast specific on our Bamboo Maintenance Release 1 that's coming out very soon. This is a continuation of our webcast series. This is number 8. I'm pleased to say we've done 8 of these over the last 2.5 months, probably. All the webcasts are recorded, and the goal is to really provide more information on specifically new features and upcoming releases. I think starting in later next week is our first one on advanced reporting, led by Daniel Sasajima. If you don't know who Daniel is, then you're probably not on the community and active, because Daniel is our reporting super guru, expert extraordinaire. So he's going to give 2 sessions on advanced reporting, one next Wednesday at this exact same time, and then another one the following week at the same time as well. So I'd really encourage you to keep an eye out for those. All the meeting invites are already on the community. If you're not active on the community, or you don't know what I'm talking about when I mention the community, I would encourage you to go to communities.ca.com and look up the CA Cloud Service Management community. It's all the information on the community is public. It's on the internet. If you want to interact, get information on events, then you do need to log in. It's a CA.com login. It's very easy to create. Takes about a minute to create, and we have all the details on how to do that on the community site as well. Today, in this webcast, we are going to focus on an upcoming maintenance release, Bamboo Maintenance Release 1. Before I hand it over to Mahua, who will be the lead on this call, just to introduce myself, if you don't know my voice from this webcast before, my name is Rich Graves. I'm on the product management team here at CA. And on the team, I'm responsible for customer experience. And in general, that means all the different interaction points that you have with us as a vendor. So, you know, what's the experience like on the community? What's the experience like on the wiki? Support, as well as the user interface and components inside the tool as well. Mahua and I work closely together. Mahua is another lead on customer experience. And she'll be leading this presentation today. Many of the other product managers are on the line and will be helping out with the Q&A. So we have Prasanna and Sharat and Jijo, as well as Prasanna, I think I said that, are all on the line as well. So if you do have any questions at any point during the presentation, feel free to ask them on WebEx. The Q&A feature, which is at the bottom of your right-hand panel, usually under speaking or panelists or chat, you should see that. It's a question mark icon. Additionally, if you do have audio questions, we'll take a couple breaks during the presentation. There's just some good natural breaks. Before we go to the actual demonstration, we'll take a break, and then we'll take a couple breaks during the demonstration, because that's usually where people raise a lot of questions. Feel free to answer or ask a question on the phone or on WebEx at that point. If there's questions that we think need some more discussion or want to point out some specifics, we'll raise that on audio and talk through that as well. Okay. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Mahua. So Mahua, let me pass you the ball, and then you can take over from here.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Rich, for the introduction. A very good morning and good evening to everybody on the call. Thank you for joining in. I'd like to welcome all of you to today's webcast on Bamboo MR1. Let's look at the agenda. We would be going over the overview of MR1 features, followed by a quick product demonstration. Then I'll go over other product-related enhancements. Then at the end, we'll have a separate session for Q&A. Like all other CSM releases, the new release also focuses on creating value for our customer. The enhancements on Bamboo MR1 primarily focuses on improvements on Project Center, Process Designer, Admin Forms, Ticket Center, and the mobile app for the self-service user. Other than this enhancement, a significant focus of MR1 was towards addressing defects and driving overall quality and stability of the product. So with this note, I will get started. IT project management was a new module that was added during Bamboo release in MR. I hear some background noise, so.
Keep going, Mahua. I'll take care of it.
Okay. Thank you, Rich. So IT project management was a new module that we added during Bamboo release. In MR1, we have added a few key enhancements to it. The first one on the list is the ability to import multiple tickets to a project. So now you can import multiple tickets into a project and add each of them as an individual task within the project if needed. Also, starting from this release onwards, you would be able to, as a project manager or IT analyst, you would be able to view the primary organization of the team, as well as when you add new members to the team, you would be able to view their primary organization as well. So this was one of the key things that we heard when we rolled out IT project management from the existing customers. So in MR1, this got picked up. Moving on, the next item on the list is checklist. You can now add checklist item to a task. You can use this checklist item to record and track important task, subtask, or any other aspect of your task. So this is what I'm talking about. So I'll be, when I do the product demonstration, I'll talk more on this. So other than the checklist, the user would also get to see the ticket preview on the task. So I'm talking about this section. So these were primarily the key enhancement on the project, IT project management side. So next, I'll talk about the process designer related enhancements. We also added the process designer during Bamboo release. In this MR1, we added two key new functionalities. The first one is the ability to add approvers while defining workflows. And the other one is the support for branching or defining alternate paths for the same workflow. I'll explain both of these concepts or both of these features in details when I do the product demonstration with a use case so that it is more easily understood. Moving on, we have completely revamped some of the commonly used admin forms for facilitating ease of use for CSM administrators. The 5 admin forms that we revamped are the categorization, knowledge article, categorization groups, holidays, and scheduled tasks. So when I do the demo, I'll also be showing the old admin forms and I'll also be showing the new ones. Next, we made a lot of small but frequently asked enhancements on the ticket center, focusing on analyst productivity. The first item on the list is persistence of user preference. Analyst preference like ticket filters, ticket fields, order of fields, with this release onwards, it's going to persist. In other words, the analyst can move around across the application and they can even log out and come back, and they would see their preference being saved. This has been a top ask in our user community, and in this release, we got it done. The next item on the list is the ability to update customer contact profile from the ticket detail page. So earlier, the basic details section or the account section of the contact profile was not editable. With this release onwards, analysts, if they are being given permission, they will be able to do that. The next item on the list is the overall simplification of inbound email responses and updation of tickets, the overall process. Earlier, what used to happen if the end user altered the subject line of the email with words like very urgent, very important, the CSM system kind of considered that as a new ticket altogether, and it created new tickets, and which triggered a lot of problems for the analysts because they had to spend a lot of time analyzing, going through those, and closing those. So with this release onwards, this item got addressed. This was also a top ask in the community. The next item on the list is ability to search for closed tickets from the scratchpad and the contact profile. So earlier this option was not there. In MR1 we have added that. While I do the product demonstration, I'll also be showing all this so that it is more clear. The last item on the list is the ability to quickly identify the required fields on the ticket detail page. So earlier, the way our ticket detail page is, we have several tabs. So it was quite challenging for analysts while they were updating the ticket. It was very challenging for them to kind of remember or figure out which all required fields they have got to key in the details. So with this release onward, that design issue or that design problem got addressed. So I will take questions now before going into the actual product demonstration.
A few questions have come in on WebEx. If there are any questions on the phone, you can hit #6 or #6, or even hit the unmute, the red icon next to your name on WebEx, and ask a question. If anyone's doing that, we'll wait a second while you do that. One question that did come in was about the subtasks, the task list within project tasks, and I did answer that. Just to expand on that, we do have task tickets and project tasks today, which are two different objects, and that is by design. And the checklist and the subtasks are only for the IT project tasks. I think over time you'll see us better integrate those two objects, the task ticket and the project task. But today those are two separate objects, and the checklists are only on the project tasks. Any other questions on the phone? Okay. All right, Mahua, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Rich. All right, so I will now share. I'll now just give me 1 second. Okay, so now I'll be doing a quick product demo on these key features that I have just kind of gone over. First, I'll be showing the project management related enhancements. Then I'll go to the new admin forms, and then I'll do a quick demo on the approval and branching support for process designer. And lastly, I'll be showing the ticket center related enhancements focusing on analyst productivity. All right, so let me just log in. All right, so I'm going to the project center. So this is the project overview section. We have the various projects. I am just clicking on this one. So the first feature I'll be demonstrating is the ability to import ticket. So you see a plus sign on each of these len on mouse over. Click on that. Select the respective tickets that you want to import as task. I'm just going to the last page where I have a couple of tickets that I want to import. So let's say I want to import these 3 tickets. All right, so these 3 tickets got added here. If needed, I can move some of this ticket to other lanes. Now I'm going to the ticket detail page, the task detail page. So this is how it looks. So this is the checklist feature that I was talking about. So it is nothing but subtask that you can further add to the task if it is a big enough task. So let's say I add subtask 1, subtask 2, subtask 3. Likewise, you can add as many number of tasks that is needed to be added. Whenever you are done with a particular task, you can just click on it and it would be moved to the completed bucket. And you would also see the visual indicator over here, like how many got completed. on the right top section, you would see the related ticket information, related ticket to this particular task. If you want to unrelate this, that is also doable. And once you update this page, you just need to save and close. Next, let me show you the primary organization feature that I talked about. So on the team section, where I have a list of all the team members, we have added this field, primary organization. Also, when you create new users, you see the primary organization there as well. So these are the key enhancements on the Project Center. Before I go to the next area, I take questions, if any.
No other questions. We've had a couple more questions on WebEx that we're answering, and anyone feel free to look at Q&A because you can see those answers as well. But no other questions.
Okay, thank you, Rich. So next, I will be going to the administration section to demonstrate the new admin forms. So what I will do, I will show both the old forms as well as the new forms so that you can compare. The first admin form I'll be demonstrating is categorization. This is an admin form that is used by administrator for managing categories of CCTI. So let's look at the old form to remind ourselves how it used to look. So this is how it used to be, pretty complex and difficult to navigate. Now let's look at the new admin form, and let's see if it has improved or not. So this is how the new admin form for categorization looks. Let me explain the layout. So it has primarily two sections, the left-hand section where we have list of all the categories being displayed, and there is search, sort, filter, options available, and you can also create new categories. When you select a particular category, you would see the details of that on the center section, and as an admin, if you need to update some of the information, you can do that. Let's say you want to update this field and you don't know what it means. So we also have context-sensitive help to help you navigate through the overall process. Once you are done with updating the relevant changes, you can just save, and that's all. So this is the new categorization form. Now let's go back, and next I'll be showing another form. So for knowledge categories also, we have revamped the overall look and feel. As the name suggests, this particular admin form is used by administrator to manage the knowledge article categorization and structure. So let's look at how it used to be. So this is how it used to be. Again, a lot of tabs to navigate through and not very simple to go about. All right, so let's look at the new one. So we have maintained the same navigation and look and feel for all the new admin forms like the previous one, which I have just shown. This also has two sections. On left-hand section, all the categories are there. You can search, sort, filter, create new category the same way. And once you select a particular category, you can update the details on the right-hand section. For any editable fields, we have the context-sensitive help. Whenever you are done with your updates, you can just save, and that's it. The next admin form that I'll be talking about is holiday list. So as the name suggests, this admin form is used by administrator to manage yearly calendar for different groups. So let's look at how it used to be. So this is how it used to be. Pretty complex. Now let's look at how the new one looks like. So this is how the new one looks like. You have the various calendar list on the left. You can search, sort, create new holiday group the same way. And once you select a particular holiday list, this is how you see the calendar, and you see you can, at any given point in time, you can delete a particular holiday event. You can add a new event very easily. It's just click of a mouse, and that's it. You can also delete active or existing holiday list as well using this delete button. So this is the holiday list. Moving on, the next admin form that I'll be demonstrating is group. So as the name suggests, this admin form is used for managing various group-related information. So let's look at how it used to be before. So this is how it used to be. Pretty long and too much to remember, difficult to correlate the information. Now let's look at the new group, how it looks. The same look and feel and navigation. On the left, we would see all the groups, search, sort, filter, all these options are available. You can also create a new group if you're an administrator. And based on the group that you select, you see all the information pertaining to that group, further organized or subcategorized under general section. You would be able to see the member details, you would see the organization details, and you would also see the business hours. You can make changes to any existing groups, and you can save it. So it's that straightforward. The last admin form that I'll be demonstrating is schedule task. So this admin form is used by administrator to manage scheduled or routine scheduled tasks and related activities. So this is how the earlier admin form for this schedule task was. There were 3 tabs: schedule list, schedule details, log. A lot of information, again, difficult to correlate and manage. Now let us see the new schedule task admin form. The same look and feel and navigation structure. You would see the list of tasks, list of scheduled tasks on the left. Can search, sort if there are too many on this list. On the right hand side, you would see the details for that particular scheduled task. You would see the schedule details. You would see the logs. And at any given point in time, you can inactivate a particular schedule and save. And that's it. So this is what I had on the admin form side. I'll take questions before moving on to the next area.
Mahua, can you open up one of the admin forms, like categorization, for example? I think it's just good to point out a few additional things that have come up in discussions.
Sure.
So I think first and foremost, just to make sure everyone understood sort of the reasoning behind this. Obviously, many of the admin forms are the old look and feel, and over time we've been updating many of those, and we'll continue to do that. The structure of this was specifically focused on, the look and feel and the layout of these pages were ease of administration. So if you aren't familiar with sort of our goals of a product, it's, time to value, ease of use, ease of administration are sort of the key tenets of the product. So this layout where you have a list on the left is much better than the list on the top, when you have to, scroll and page, scroll and page, scroll and page. This list is much better on the left-hand side. Much more, modern design, as many of you know. So it gives you faster navigation. Additionally, the embedded help is a huge improvement. It's something we sort of tested on the automation screens in the last release. Got good feedback, and that's why we're adding it to many more of these forms. Additionally, you'll notice there's 2 new fields exposed on every one of these admin objects, last modified and the created. Those 2 date fields were specifically, added and exposed, specifically because a lot of customers asked for those, and it's something that we wanted to do and put out there as well. So I think those are lots of enhancements that altogether really improve the experience for administrators. And you'll see us do more and more of these forms over time, but we wanted to focus on these 5 forms because really they're some of the more complex forms and some of the most widely used forms, especially categorizations. And additionally, one last thing here, Mahua was showing the old and the new forms, side by side. That's specifically for demo purposes. When you get this release, you'll just see the new form, just to make sure everyone's aware of that.
Yes, thank you for giving that disclaimer. I was about to say that.
Sure. I'm just looking if there's any other questions that have come in. No other questions at this point. So go ahead, Mahua.
Okay, thank you, Rich. So next, I will be demonstrating the process designer related enhancements that I talked about, that is approver and branching support. So to demonstrate that, I have already created, for demonstration purpose, I've already created a workflow. I will be using that. Let me just open that up. So request for a computer. Before I open it up, let me quickly talk about the use case that I will be covering. So let's take an example that for any new employee or existing employees, from time to time, they would need to request for laptop, or they would need to request for computers, and the computers can be laptop, desktop, server. So based on the type of request, the administrator wants to have a automated workflow. So that's the use case that I will be walking you guys through. So this is the basic property section of the workflow, where we have the basic details like process flow name, description, and the form type. So this is going to be a service request, so I have chosen service request. Now let's go to the process designer. Okay, so let me scroll down. All right, so because this is a service request, the first step should be to validate. And as I mentioned, the use case is if the service request is for laptop, we want it to go through an approval process. If the service request is for desktop, we don't want to go through an approval process. We just want the ticket to get assigned to respective group and individual analyst, and they can just check with the inventory and procure it and close the ticket. Same is for server. If it is server, it should automatically get assigned to a group and respective analyst. No approval is needed, and if it is available, they should directly procure and close the ticket. So this is one workflow with several paths or branches. So this is the first branch, this is the second branch, and this is the third branch. So let's start with the first one. So if it is laptop, we want it to get submitted for approval. Hence, on the right-hand side, if you notice, I have selected type equivalent to submit for approval. The action for analyst should be to submit the ticket for further approval. And on the matching condition, we have PC type equal to laptop. So now if I move to the approvers tab, so this is the one that got added in MR1. So here you can define the approvers. You can have contextual approval. You can have additional users. You can have reviewers and additional options. For the demonstration, for the simple demonstration, I just have contextual approver. Now, once the task goes for approval, the approver has two options. Either they can approve or reject. So both of these would mean updation on the ticket. So that's why I've selected update ticket. And it would be laptop approved or laptop reject. In either cases, it would end in resolution of the ticket. So this is the first branch. Now if I move to the second branch, I'll just repeat one more time. If the service request is for desktop, we want it to get assigned directly to the group, not going for any approval. Hence, we have selected type equal to assign to a group. And the action for the analyst should be to provide the desktop from the inventory. That's what we have here. And on the matching condition side, again, it's pretty straightforward, PC type equal to desktop. So that's about it. And on the third lane or the third branch, again, it's similar condition as that of the previous one. If the request is for server, it should also get assigned to group, and the analyst should procure the server, and both of these actions result into resolution of the ticket. So this is how a typical workflow would look like with branching support and approver. Now let me kind of demonstrate like end-to-end how this would work out. So let's imagine or let's assume that I am a new employee. I have just joined the organization and I need to request for a computer. My manager tells me to log into CSM and raise an IT ticket. So I have just logged in. I see a service catalog, request computer. I click on it. So this is the ticket detail page. All my basic details are already filled. On the PC type drop-down, I select, let's say I select desktop. And once I save, a new ticket gets created. At the back end, the workflow which I have just created or demonstrated, that gets triggered. And because it is for desktop, it shouldn't go for approval. I should just, let's say now I'm an analyst who has logged in, and this is a ticket that has come into our queue, and I have opened the ticket. The workflow action that should be available to me is first would be to validate the ticket, and after that it should be to directly procure from inventory. So let's see if that's how it is working or not. So yeah, the first step is validate request. Let me do that. So now I'm playing the role of an analyst. All right. So yep. So here you go. Provide desktop from inventory. So the workflow action would work in this fashion. Now let us do one more test. Let's say I am the employee or the end user, and instead of desktop, I have requested for a laptop. Let us save it. When an analyst would see the ticket, now they should get an option to send for approval. Let's check. Yep, to submit for approval for laptop. So this is how end-to-end this two feature would work. So I will take questions on this before I move on to the next area.
So again, if there's any questions on the phone, you can hit #6 or #6 to unmute your phone. I don't see any questions right now in Q&A specific to this topic. We've had a couple more come in related to other things, but feel free again to ask on WebEx at any point. If you have any audio questions, we'll pause for those now.
Okay. So if no questions, I'll move to the ticket center. So on the ticket center, we have made a lot of small but frequently asked enhancements. The first one that I'll be demonstrating is saving of user preference. So, so when I say saving of user preference, I mean saving of last filters, order of fields, the number of fields, and so on. So let's start with filter. Let's apply filter by active instead of new. Let's move this field as the second field. Sorry. Okay, so resolve by, I've made that as the second field. And let's say we add a few more fields. The description and reason, these are the two other fields that I have added. So let's assume that as an analyst, this is how I want my queue to look like. I always want the ticket, the filter to be active, and these are the fields that I want, and this is the order which I want. So let's say I navigate to a different workspace. So let's assume outstanding item. And once I approve whatever is outstanding, and later on I come back to the ticket queue, I should see my last preference being returned. Yep, we see the ticket status. We applied filter as active, that is there. Also the order of field as well as the new fields that we added got returned. So we have not only enhanced the ticket center to save user preference, we have also enhanced other key workspaces like configuration management, asset center, and automation center. They are also this workspace would retain the user preference. The next feature I will be demonstrating is the ability to add, ability to update contact details from the contact profile. So earlier, this section of the contact profile, that is the account section, which had the basic details, these were not editable by analysts. So with this release onward, this section would be editable by analysts, provided he or she is given the right to do so. The next feature that I'd like to demonstrate is the ability to search by closed tickets. So on the contact profile, on the recent ticket tab, we have added this radio button called closed tickets. So you would see all the closed tickets for that customer, and there is a search as well. You can, if the number of tickets are too many, you can search here as well. The same feature got added in the Scratchpad. Let me also show you guys that. Okay, so let's just add one user. Okay, so on the related ticket section, we added close filter as well. So it would be easier for analysts to search for closed tickets. The last feature that I would like to demonstrate is the ability to quickly find the required fields, which earlier used to get hidden across various channel tabs. So when analyst updates the ticket detail section for various tickets, many a times there are many channel tabs, this sub-tabs that I'm referring to, and because we give the flexibility to add custom fields, and the customer can choose to have many of those custom fields being mandatory as well. So because of the design, earlier what used to happen if analysts forgot to key in the details of some of these mandatory fields, it didn't visually tell them, so that made the job of analysts a little difficult. They had to spend time navigating across all the tabs to figure out which all fields got missed. So now, let's say that I'm just filling in the details and I forgot to key in the name. I know this is a very basic example, but this is how the tool would show me visually that in this tab, there is some field that I forgot to key in, which is a mandatory field. So with this, I am done with all the key features that I wanted to demonstrate. I will take questions. If there are no questions, I'll move into the presentation where I want to talk about a few other features.
There's a couple things that came in that I think are worth highlighting. The one question I did address on the Q&A was about, where are the preferences stored? I know you mentioned it in the PowerPoint, but just to reiterate that, it is stored in the browser. So this is something, if you're switching browsers, if you're going from Chrome, what Mahua is using right now, and then you're logging in Firefox, it is specific to that browser, so you do need to set those preferences again in Chrome. And same would go if you move to a different computer and you log in Chrome on a different machine, you'd obviously need to set those preferences again because they are browser-specific preferences. Additionally, the last thing Mahua showed on the, highlighting a required field on a tab that's missing, this is really, really useful, and Mahua gave the simple example, which is obviously fast, and I think everybody understood. But this is really for like those additional details tabs where you have your custom fields on. It's really easy if you have multiple tabs to miss one of those required fields. So that's predominantly where that came from. That was a something that came in from an idea from a customer. And there was one other thing I was going to mention. I think just in general, these analyst improvements are, I know what, from the people on the phone here, everyone on the phone and all the customers we have that I've dealt with, you know, obviously you're dealing with tickets every single day. And these are those little annoying things that weren't working exactly how you wanted them to. And we wanted to fix those and make things better. And this is a great opportunity in a maintenance release where we had time to do defect fixes and provide some bug fixes, as well as get some of these minor improvements that go a long way to just making your life a lot easier and allowing you to more quickly go through the tool. So I'm really excited for those because I know that's where people are going to be most excited to get this release. Any other questions? There's a few more questions coming on WebEx that I think we're working on. Any other questions on the phone? Okay. Go ahead, Mahua. Why don't we jump back to the PowerPoint and finish up here in the next 15 minutes?
Yes, sure. So a few other enhancements in Bamboo MR1 that are worthy of talking about. The first one that I wanted to talk about was the mobile app. We have added the support for single sign-on as well as the catalog. So please note that the current SSO support is for Windows domain authentication only. Form-based authentication will be added very soon in an update. We hope that this should allow many more organizations to leverage the mobile app with SSO. And also, the catalog feature was missing in the mobile app, so we have added that as well. This would empower end user to easily create tickets using the mobile app. Moving on the asset management side, earlier it was not possible to deactivate, it was not possible to delete assets, it was possible to deactivate assets. In MR1, we have added that capability. Now you can delete assets from this screen under bulk option. You would see an option called delete. Also, while you do bulk import of processes, you would see the delete option as well. So this was again asked by many of our customers in MR1. It was a great opportunity to add this feature. Other than that, we have like few other miscellaneous improvements. The first one is on the advanced reporting side, on the ad hoc view. Going forward, it would be possible for administrators and individuals to rename dashboards and reports. We have heard that many times from our customers, so in this release, it got that. Also, on the next one is more on the usability side. So earlier, if you had multiple tabs open and let's say you were an analyst, you used the global search to actually search for something, it kind of closed the existing tabs and only showed the search result. That kind of, that was not a great experience. The analyst more often than not lost the context. So in this release, we have kind of addressed that usability gap. So when more than one tabs are open and analyst wants to perform the search action, the search result will be shown as a separate tab. So these were some of the key enhancements on Bamboo MR1. So before opening up for Q&A, I'll just quickly summarize what we just covered. On the project center, we have added few key enhancements. The first one is the ability to import tickets, checklist enable task, ticket related snapshot in task detail screen. On the process designer, we have added support for approvals and branching. We have revamped some of the commonly used admin forms. There were a lot done on the analyst productivity side on the ticket center. On the advanced reporting side, we've added the ability to rename reports, dashboards from the ad hoc view. On the asset management side, we have added the ability to delete assets. On the mobile front, we have added the support for single sign-on and catalog. Other than this enhancement, the focus was also on improving quality. So 100+ defects got fixed, focusing on overall product quality and usability. So with this note, I will conclude, and I'll open up for Q&A.
Okay, a couple points on things that have come in. On one thing to point out on the mobile app, just to refresh everybody on that, if you're not familiar with the mobile app today, it is available in the Google Play and the Apple App Store. It is meant entirely for self-service. So the goal is, when we first released this, and the same goal today, is to give IT departments a way for their end users to feel like, hey, IT is modern, they have a mobile app, it's easy for me to interact with IT. So really breaking down those barriers of thinking about where to go for self-service, or where do I go to pick up the phone and talk to IT. So trying to reduce the mean time to report for self-service tickets. One thing to note, this release does have single sign-on in the catalog, as Mahua mentioned. The single sign-on, we have found that it works very well for users of Windows single sign-on authentication, so domain authentication in that respect. We have run into issues with other single sign-on providers. We have a fix for that, and we're testing it now, and we should be rolling out an update to the mobile app to address that. So I know a lot of people are very excited about the single sign-on, and a couple of our customers contacted me directly and let me know they couldn't get into that because of the way the authentication mechanism they're using. So we are addressing that, just to let everyone know. We'll have an update probably in the next few weeks or the next month on that. Other questions on the phone. So again, it's #6 if you want to ask an audio question, and we'll keep an eye on other WebEx that are coming in. There's a thread on roles and sort of differences between Service Desk Manager or on-premise service management solution. I think the term role may be causing some of the confusion. So roles in cloud service management are really a group of permissions. So you give people multiple roles, and it's essentially additive permissions from that perspective. It's very different from Service Desk Manager or on-premise service management solution that has roles that are often grouping form sets together. So you can say, here's a problem manager, and unless you have that role, you can't see problems. So it's very different, and I hate to compare the two because the term roles is common, it's very different. Other questions on the phone or on WebEx? Okay, it's coming in. So just a few reminders. I think there's a couple more people typing questions right now. A few reminders. This session is recorded. The PowerPoint that was shared, all of that will be shared on the community site. The URL is here. If you can't remember that whole long URL, just go to communities.ca.com and you can search for the Cloud Service Management community there. So I usually try to get upload the video to YouTube and then post it on the community, and then have a separate post for the PowerPoint deck in a PDF form, so you can get both of those if you want to share more with your team and have them catch up on this. Additionally, as a reminder, we have 4 more deep dive webcasts scheduled really over the next about 2 months. We have 4 more webcasts. I'm working on getting 2 more scheduled, so we'll have really six more in this quarter. The next 2 are both focused on advanced reporting. I really encourage everybody to come back for those. Daniel Sasajima, who you probably know his name on the community from reporting questions. He's our reporting expert. We'll be doing 2 webcasts. What I found in our advanced reporting, doing the basics is very easy. I can easily drag and drop, report and export into a spreadsheet. With a little, 20 more minutes, I can figure out how to do bar graphs and pie graphs. But if you want to do really complex stuff and do, I know there's a thread right now about work logs and reporting on work logs. Daniel is the expert there, so he'll be going into that, and I think it's well worth attending those the next 2 weeks. Okay. All right, if there's no other questions, I will hang around on WebEx Q&A and make sure if there's any questions there, they get addressed. Otherwise, a big thank you to Mahua for taking the lead today, and thank you for everyone who attended. We had great attendance today, and I hope to see everyone on next Wednesday, July 15th, and July 22nd for the next 2 webcasts. So thanks everyone for attending. We'll end the audio now, and I'll hang around on WebEx. Thank you.
Thank you.